At the movie's start, Hobo, an old homeless man, travels on a train and enters Hopetown, which is overwritten in the welcome board as the Scum Town. The scene forwards where Hobo is wheeling around trash through the street. He sees that people are involved in various crimes in broad daylight. The walls are filled with curse words and evil characters. As Hobo forwards, he notices a man with a camera. The man is enjoying and filming a deadly fight between two people. The cameraman asks Hobo if he's willing to join the fight for $10, but Hobo ignores the offer and continues pushing his trolley ahead. As Hobo picks a cigarette from a trash bin, he hears a man shouting for help. Hobo turns back and notices the man with a utility pole cover fixed on his neck and hands tied. The man yells that someone is after him. Suddenly, a modern white car comes screeching. The handcuffed man comes to Hobo and pleads for support, but Hobo ignores him. Another vehicle comes speeding and hits Hobo's trash trolley to scatter his collection in the road. Drake, the leader of a notorious gang, comes out of the vehicle. Similarly, his sons, Slick and Ivan, get out of the other car. The handcuffed man gets terrified and says that he raised the brothers from their childhood. Despite this, the brothers drag him to a utility pole on the street. They throw him in the hole, and now his body hangs inside while his head is above. As Hobo and the other people watch it, Drake welcomes them all as some stage show. Drake then declares the man not to be his brother anymore. He puts a barbed wire around his neck and ties it to a car. As soon as Drake orders, Slick drives the car away and detaches the head from the body, while blood spills out from the neck like a fountain. The people feel disgusted, while Drake enjoys it. After the gangsters leave, Hobo walks out to the street and picks up his scattered trash. He comes across a pawn shop and looks at a lawnmower, which is marked at $49.99. He sighs and leaves the place. Hobo then decides to collect money by begging on the streets. He sits on a pathway with a board. Some teenagers come and spit at Hobo's board. Then they go inside a house. As he is counting the coins, he notices Slick going into the house and follows him. Inside the house, the teenagers who are part of Drake's gang are killing and torturing people. As Slick enters, he enjoys the events happening. Hobo also gets in silently and observes the area. Slick comes to Otis, a boy playing a video game. Upon seeing Slick, Otis gets horrified and utters that he forgot to make the payment on time. As Slick threatens him, Otis says that he will pay Slick with his advance allowances. Seeing this, a girl named Abby walks in and shouts at Slick to leave the kid alone. Upon hearing this, Slick threatens to abuse her. Ivan then catches Otis and breaks his hand. As Abby tries to walk away, Slick takes her to another room with the promise of offering her money. Hobo watches it and follows them. While Abby and Slick kiss, the headlights on a car illuminate the room. This surprises Abby, who gets to know that she is about to get kidnapped. Slick holds her firmly and tells her that it is her ride. Suddenly, Hobo appears in front of them and asks Slick to leave her. As Slick is about to attack Hobo with his knife, he knocks him out with his bag of coins. Hobo then asks Abby what she was thinking. In the next scene, Hobo carries Slick to the police station and tells the policeman there to get him the police chief. As he waits inside a room, the chief arrives and tells him that he has not seen Hobo around the place. When the chief starts talking about Slick, Hobo gets enraged and tells him to take all the town's criminals to the landfill through dump trucks and bury them. The chief agrees with Hobo, but shares that there are policemen who have ties with Drake. The chief thanks Hobo's honesty, too. Hobo then asks the chief to put Slick in prison for his whole life. Ivan appears on the door and peeps through it with a devious face. All of a sudden, the chief gets up and points his gun at Hobo. He then announces that Ivan and Slick are the princes of the town. The door also opens, and Slick comes out with his knife. He then carves Hobo's chest with scum written on it. After that, the police dump Hobo in the trash. Meanwhile, Abby is making a deal with the man for the night when Hobo appears and stumbles across her. As Abby tries to get rid of Hobo, the car goes away. Abby sees Hobo injured and takes him to her place. She walks to the kitchen and gets some drinks. She comes and thanks Hobo for saving her life. Hobo notices an empty photo frame on the table and suggests Abby keep her family photo there. Abby cleans Hobo's wounds with the drink and answers that she does not have anyone worth remembering. Hobo then comments on Abby's appearance and says that she looks intelligent. He suggests she be involved in teaching to tell people about beautiful things and miracles. Abby remarks that she does not have many options except being a prostitute for a living. Hobo stands up and acts to be okay. He shares that he tells his brain to take it away when he is hurt, for he has nothing to cure it. Abby then takes him to bed. She also gives him a sweater with a bear image on the front. Hobo remarks liking it and asks if he can share things about the bear. Hobo lies in bed and tells her about how dangerous bears can be if they get a taste of human blood. He finally falls asleep as he murmurs about never hugging a bear. The following day, Hobo comes to the cameraman who is filming a guy spitting blood. The cameraman welcomes him with a laugh. The man starts filming while Hobo smashes a bottle in his head and chews the glass pieces. After that, the cameraman pays Hobo. Abby wakes up from her bed and finds a bear image on the photo frame with a thank you message on the side. This makes her smile. Elsewhere, Hobo goes to the same pawn shop and looks for the lawnmower. As he is looking at it, 3 robbers ravage the shop. They take a kid hostage and threaten to shoot him if the cashier does not give them the money. Hobo gets enraged and terrified. He looks up to find a shotgun marked at $49.99. He takes it and shoots at the robbers one at a time. After killing them, Hobo goes to the counter and pays for the gun. Then, Hobo comes to the street and shoots at the cameraman. He becomes a vigilante and starts delivering justice to innocent people by shooting at criminals with his shotgun. His actions and deeds soon spread around the city. After Drake watches the news of Hobo's bravery, he shoots at the TV and brings it down. He gets mad at his son for letting Hobo go. He then asks his son to kill Hobo as revenge. The next day, several kids run to the school bus and get seated. Slick and Ivan enter the bus and burn them with the fire blower. The horrific news about the death of the kids shocks the town. As the man on the TV reports the information, Drake and his sons show up on the news station and kill him. They even show the body of a burnt kid on air. They then threaten to do the same to everyone unless they bring them the hobo's head. Hearing the announcement, the corrupt police come to the streets and start killing the homeless. The city gets into chaos as people start chasing the homeless and killing them mercilessly. Soon, the dead bodies pile up on the streets. Abby walks down the street while a police officer goes to her and asks to sleep with her. However, she denies his proposal and runs away. Getting furious, the policeman chases her and grabs her by a container. As Abby begs him not to hurt her, Hobo appears out of nowhere and blasts the police with his gun. Soon, Abby and Hobo hear a large mob of people coming towards them. Hobo reloads his gun while Abby says that the people are not bad, but scared. Abby then helps him escape by hiding him in a trolley filled with body parts and guts. As she approaches her room, she asks Hobo to come out. Otis is telephoning his mother nearby, asking about the allowances sooner. While Hobo and Abby enter their room, Otis sees Hobo and quickly informs Slick about it. Inside, Hobo shares his dreams with Abby and tells her that he wants to buy a lawnmower to start his own business. Abby gets excited and plans to run away from town to do it. Hence, they decide to leave town. Meanwhile, Slick and Ivan come to Otis, who shows them the place. Hobo and Abby hear someone approaching them as they carry their bags. They burst into the room and start attacking Hobo. Slick then turns to Abby and tries hitting her with the bottle, but he misses and it shatters to the ground. When Slick gets nearer, Abby picks a piece of the glass and slices his face. She runs to the other room and locks herself up. Ivan continuously stabs his skate boot into Hobo's back. The two struggle for a while, and the fight ends when Hobo electrocutes Ivan with a machine. On the other side, Slick catches Abby and starts cutting her neck with a hacksaw. Hobo hears Abby crying in pain and rushes to her. He enters the room and points the gun at him. Hobo takes the brothers out on the street and shoots Slick in the groin while Ivan runs away. Slick calls his father from the telephone booth and informs him about his condition. Soon, he hallucinates the burning school bus and tells his father to be a bad one and dies. Hobo puts Allie in the trolley and goes to the hospital. He threatens the medical staff to treat Abby. Scared, the doctors try everything to save her. Elsewhere, Drake gets furious upon his son's death. He asks to summon the plague to bring the hobo to him. The plague, two people with metallic uniform armor, travel to the hospital in motorcycles with a box tied to the rear of their ride. At the hospital, Hobo gives Abby a small pot plant after she gets conscious. He asks her not to forget him, for he is going to work. While Hobo is out, Abby says that he cannot solve the world's problems with a shotgun. Hobo tells her that it is all he knows. He then exits the room and finds a room where babies without parents are put. Hobo looks at them and murmurs about being in their position a long time ago. He wishes them not to be like him, a hobo with a shotgun. The robots soon arrive at the hospital and start killing the staff brutally. They then hang the deceased bodies to the ceiling. While they're doing so, the electricity in the hospital goes out. Hobo gets worried about Abby and rushes to her. When he pulls her blanket, he finds one of the robots waiting for him. The robot immediately attacks him while another robot restrains Abby nearby. They then force him out of the hospital and put him in the box to take him away. After he's gone, Abby notices Hobo's shotgun on the floor. Abby goes to the pawn shop and restructures the shotgun to make it smaller. She armors herself with a helmet and rotating fan. As she comes out, she finds herself surrounded by the people who are killing the homeless. Abby then gives a long speech in favor of the homeless. The people get silenced, and Abby walks through them. In the next scene, Drake welcomes everyone in a stadium in his show. He presents the plague and Hobo to the crowd. The robots put a utility hole cover around Hobo's neck and lock it up. The robots then take him to the hole and put him inside. The crowd applauses the scene. The robot then puts a rope around Hobo's neck, whose other end hooks to a bike. They are about to decapitate him. Suddenly, Ivan finds Abby pointing a gun at him through the crowd. She threatens Drake to leave Hobo if he wants his son alive. Drake laughs at it and shoots Ivan himself, saying that he is useless. Drake sends his robots after him, and one of them catches Abby, but she quickly counters and kills him by grinding him to shreds. Drake then orders the other robot to start the show. However, Abby cuts the rope with an axe in time. A furious Drake grabs Abby and shoves her hand through the car propeller. This rips her hand off, but as she cries in pain, she stabs Drake with her exposed arm bone. After incapacitating Drake, she goes to Hobo and helps him out. Hobo shoots at the fan to cause a fire as he sees fuel spilled. The second robot stops in his tracks and tells that Abby should take the place of the other robot. He then walks away. Hobo moves to Abby and they hug each other. Abby says that she wants to go to the zoo to see the bear. Hobo smiles at her and tells her that bears do not belong in the zoo. He then picks his shotgun and goes to Drake. In the meantime, the police appear and the chief asks Hobo to put his weapon down. Soon, all the people around take their guns and point at the police. The crowd murmurs to back up. The movie ends after Hobo shoots Drake, the police shoot Hobo, and the crowd shoots at the police. The place is filled with a pile of dead bodies as Abby looks in horror. Thanks for watching, guys.